Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Sports Out.
From Atlanta, Georgia, once again, it's time for Braves baseball. A cloudy, muggy night greets us at Turner Field as the red-hot Atlanta Braves take on our neighbors to the south. The Miami Marlins are in town. It's Game 3 of this 4-game series. All year long, Braves baseball on Sports Out is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip back at the ballpark. Atlanta trying to win its 8th consecutive game. They're making a push, facing those Washington Nationals at the top of the division. The Braves only 2.5 games back. One reason why, Joe, the Braves offense is clicking nicely.
Yeah, another win tonight would be a season-high 8 straight wins for the Braves. We know the pitching's been good, but all of a sudden the hitting is really coming together, largely because the guys are healthy and they're in there every day. These are some highlights from last night. Got contributions from a lot of different people. Juan Francisco is second. 2-run single in as many nights. Brian McCann hit his 140th home run off Ricky Nolasco in his career. Well, actually, it's just his 7th. It just seems like more than that. And Jason Hayward's having a great homestand. He's 7 for 19. He's hit in 4 straight games, and he's part of this rejuvenated offense. During the 7-game streak, averaging close to 6 runs a game while holding the opponents down. They're hitting some long balls. But I think more importantly, Chip, than anything, is that bottom line on the walks. They're drawing a lot of walks. They're working those starting pitchers and running up their pitch counts early.
Wade LeBlanc is the man pitching for the Marlins tonight, but he'll be facing a very tough opponent for the Braves. Ben Sheets gets the ball for Atlanta. He's 3-0, and we'll break down his start in a Braves uniform when we come right back after this. Braves and Marlins are hooking up in Game 3 of our 4-game series. Back with you here at Turner Field, where Ben Sheets gets the ball for the Atlanta Braves. A great signing for Frank Grant and this Braves ball club. And, Joe, I think every manager will tell you this time of year you want results out of your starting pitcher, but maybe as important, you want consistency. And Ben certainly has delivered that.
Well, what's real cool about signing Ben Sheets, not just the fact that he's had great success already in his first 3 starts for the Braves, but the fact that he's been there and done that. He's a veteran pitcher, and with this kind of success, that only I guess, spreads the wealth among some of the younger guys, too, and they're feeding off of him. 3 starts, 3-0, and 0.50 ERA. He's only given up 1 run, and he hasn't walked many guys. You think about taking a 2-year layoff, and his command has been outstanding, beginning with his first start here at Turner Field when he made his comeback, 6 innings, a shutout ball. Then he went into Nationals Park and beat the first-place Washington Ball Club, did not give up a run in 6 innings. And then here, just the other night against the Phillies, heaven forbid, he gave up a run. You know, I think he's okay, but he's only given up 1 run in his 18 innings of work, so let's hope for more of the same tonight. He's 7-3 lifetime here at Turner Field.
And hopes to keep this incredible Braves streak rolling merrily along. The Braves have won 7 straight. They have a perfect homestand brewing. We'll see if it continues here at Turner Field as the Braves and Marlins meet once again. Lineups and first pitch coming up after this message. Academy Sports and Outdoors, by AT UVerse, by Delta Airlines, and by Toyota. A hot night in Atlanta, and the hottest team in baseball is your Atlanta Braves, who have won their last 7 games. They try to make it 3 in a row over the Marlins in this series, who line up at 47-56 for the season. Bonifacio, Murphy, and Reyes 1, 2, and 3 in their batting order. Carlos Lee is the cleanup man. Greg Dobbs, Brian Peterson, John Buck, and Scott Cousins. That foursome of Dobbs, Peterson, Buck, and Cousins has not done much hitting at all of late, and that's something Ben Sheets hopes continues tonight.
This is Ben's 4th start. His 10 career starts at Turner Field. Real good results. 7-3 overall, 3.71 ERA. 34 years old, 6'1", 220. Out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and the University of Louisiana at Monroe, where he was a #1 pick back in 1999 by Milwaukee. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight goes to what you were just talking about, Chip. 160s. There's 4 guys in the Marlins lineup tonight that are hitting in the 160s, and that's not even counting the pitcher. He has had great command. He'll hope to have the same tonight by keeping the ball down, something that I think has been a key to his success here in the first 3 starts.
Atlanta's defense behind Ben for Game 3 tonight. A new face in right. Reed Johnson makes his Atlanta debut. Jason Hayward slides over to center field. Chipper's back in the lineup at third base, and David Ross gets the catching assignment before a nice-sized crowd tonight at Turner Field. Joe West will have the plate. He'll call balls and strikes. That's Sam Holbrook at first, Andy Fletcher at second, and Rob Drake is at third base. It's the 1st of August, hot and sticky. 89 degrees, 47% humidity. Let's hope we do not have any interruptions like we did last night. That made for a long night last night, that hour and 53-minute rain delay.
We sure did. We don't need any more of that.
So here's Emilio Bonifacio, the Miami second baseman. And he bunts. Chipper has no play. That ball just absolutely stuck in the turf, didn't it? And a bunt hit for Bonifacio.
Let's see if he stayed in the batter's box. No, he's out of the box. Should have been out. That happens repeatedly, time and time again. This one bounced off the plate. That helped him because the ball bounced high in the air, and that's why it died in the turf. And Brian McCann says he has alerted umpires time and again. They just can't see when a guy steps out of the box like that.
And you'd think the second base umpire, in this case Andy Fletcher, would have a good look at that play. But he didn't move a muscle and make any attempt to signal, hey, Joe West, he was out of the box.
Especially early in the game when the chalk lines are so defined.
So Bonifacio, a fast runner at first with 28 steals. Donnie Murphy, the hitter, and takes the ball high. That's the hottest man in the game right now, Jose Reyes, with a current 18-game hit streak. He's our Delta Airlines on deck batter. Murphy, one of those 160 hitters Joe was talking about, 169 to be exact. Bonifacio runs, the pitch a ball, the throw hits Bonifacio and fortunately stays on the infield.
He got a good jump, but David Ross also really rushed himself on this one. David's so quick getting rid of the baseball. We've talked about how he's almost like a middle infielder. But his arm was not able to catch up with his body. He was hurrying so much, and you're right, it's a good thing it hit Bonifacio or it goes into center.
Line drive into left field. That will drop in front of Prado. And Miami has runners at first and third and nobody out for Jose Reyes.
Well, Murphy's doing some damage in this series. That's his fourth hit already, and last night he accounted for their only run, and that was the home run in the first inning off Chris Medlin. So while he's hitting in the 160s, he's trying to make up for some lost time.
And what is it about the first inning? Braves just are not able to get many, if any, 1, 2, 3 opening frames. In fact, you have to go all the way back to July 21st in Washington. As a bunt attempt by Reyes. Sheets makes the play to first. Murphy to second, one out. But July 21st, Joe, the last time the Braves didn't give up a first inning hit or more.
It's been a problem, no question about it. You know the guys are warming up properly and they're coming into the game ready to go. It's just one of those quirky things about how troublesome a first inning can be. I don't know what Reyes was thinking there, and I'm sure he bunted on his own. He's a hot hitter. And I'm sure Ozzie Guillen would much rather him be up there trying to drive in runs than trying to bunt his way aboard, which he was unsuccessful at doing.
Let's see if Ben can take advantage and get Carlos Lee. Lee's had a good series. He's 4 for 7. Little pop, shallow right. Reed Johnson coming on, can't get there, plays it on a hop. And Miami has struck first on a blue hit by Carlos Lee. So Bonifacio's in with the game's first run.
Carlos Lee did that to the Braves down in Miami. In that 3-game series, he only had one hit, and it was a bloop to left that drove in a run. And here a good pitch that he just fights off for an RBI. His 42nd.
Greg Dobbs the batter. Dobbs in left field again tonight. Greg's average at .299 for the season. Braves turned 4 double plays last night. Ben could use one here.
3 conventional ones, and then also had the one where they got a double play 9-3 from Hayward to Freeman on a line out.
Yeah, Dobbs was the man that the Braves deked at second base.
Good fastball hitter, likes the ball down, likes the ball in like a lot of left-handed hitters. Has a hole to play with on the right side.
Dobbs didn't get the breaking ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's a great equalizer for Ben Sheets. I mean, he's got that great hook, always has had, and he can throw it a couple of different speeds, and that was the slower version there.
Line back up the middle and through for a hit. Murphy will score. Lee around second is on his way to third, and the Marlins lead 2-0.
Ben Sheets was very mad at himself for not catching that ball. It was hit hard, but it wasn't one of those look out, here it comes. And another curveball, and he hit a good pitch, but Ben just didn't get his glove up in time. And his reaction right here, angry at not catching it. That wasn't a bad pitch.
So 2 runs on 4 first inning hits.
First 2 games, the Marlins were 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Tonight, in the first inning, they're 3 for 3.
Brian Peterson, the batter. He's the center fielder for his last 13. Not anymore. He singles to right field. Lee scores easily. It's 3-0. How about a do-over?
Well, I didn't have time to applaud Carlos Lee's efforts to go first to third on that line drive. Good hustle on his part, and that's what allowed him to score easily on that hit. So he set that up. And there's another one of the 160 hitters with a hit and an RBI.
13 hits allowed by Sheets in his first 18 innings as a Brave. He's given up 5 hits and has only 1 out in the first tonight. Here's the catcher, John Buck. Strike 1.
The way the Braves offense is going right now, 3 runs are not enough. But 4 or 5 might be. So you got to stop it right here, and there's a lot of game to be played. Stop this inning here.
And that's down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Marlins have gotten very little production out of their catching core, Brett Hayes and John Buck. And the Braves have held this man in check this season. He's just 1 for 18 at the plate.
Slow runner. Get him to maybe go after that curve ball and hit a ground ball to one of the infielders. You got a chance to get out of the inning.
Little high, said Joe West. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3 runs so far on 5 Miami singles. Big strikeout, 2 down. Buck asks if it was a strike. Joe West said it wasn't. A break for Ben.
Cut it loose. He couldn't lay off that high fastball. Bottom hand came off the bat.
Now Scott Cousins with 2 outs. He's hitting 161. One ball, no strikes.
Cousins looking for his first hit of the series and just 1 for his last 11. Third of 3 straight 160 hitters.
Cousins was born in Reno, Nevada, played college ball at the University of San Francisco. Ground ball to first. Freddie Freeman's got it. And the inning is over. The Marlins strike for 3 runs on 5 hits. And after a half inning, Braves down early here at Atlanta. Have to come back down 3-0 in this first inning. Braves try to win their 8th consecutive game. Have a new look at the top of the order with Reed Johnson starting things off. Jason Hayward plays center field. Chipper's back in the lineup, and Ben Sheets hits 9th against left-hander Wade LeBlanc.
He's 1-1 with a 1.15 ERA. Here in AAA at New Orleans, was 5-5 there in 16 starts. Has spent a lot of time with the Padres, an 18-23 career record.
So Reed Johnson gets his first Braves at bat and takes a called strike.
Good numbers all across the board for Reed Johnson with the Cubs. 321 average against left-handed pitching.
And as you know, the Braves have been looking for some right-hand hitting help, especially with Matt Diaz facing that injured thumb situation. He also gives Michael Bourne a rest. He can rest Martin Prado in the outfield. He can play all 3 outfield positions.
Right.
And he lays down a beautiful bunt and beats the Rap at first. Welcome to Atlanta, Reed Johnson.
That's how the Marlins got their inning started. Reed Johnson's first at bat, a beauty. And a very good play by Wade LeBlanc, who I thought would not even make a throw, but made it close. Athletic move on his part, but good start for Reed Johnson.
Does he get extra credit for actually staying in the box?
Yes, he does. Should get second.
So Martin Prado goes to work for the Braves. He's hitting .302 for the year and is 2 for 9 in the series.
Here are the 4 keys to pitching success for Wade LeBlanc this evening. Number 1, Burley light. He pitches a lot like Mark Burley, doesn't walk a lot of people, works the ball around, changes speeds, and might be auditioning for a spot in the rotation for 2013 as he gets some starts between now and the end of the year.
He started a lot this year down at AAA New Orleans. He's pitched mostly out of the bullpen for Miami. What do you expect length of game wise for LeBlanc on a hot, humid night?
I'm sure he hasn't been up that long that he's lost any of his conditioning. He's probably good for as long as Ozzie wants him to go.
That's off the plate. 2 balls and a strike.
Braves have seen him a couple of times out of the bullpen already. 2 2/3 innings, 3 hits and 2 runs. Jason Hayward hit a home run off of him down in Miami.
Double play ball hit toward Bonifacio, who bobbles, but Reyes, the throw to first, and Carlos Lee held the bag. Wasn't exactly slick, but it was effective. 2 outs.
It's effective thanks to Reyes. Bonifacio just couldn't dig it out. That threw Jose's timing off and able to avoid the tag and still get rid of the baseball. Good stretch too at first.
You mentioned the home run Jason Hayward hit against LeBlanc. He's 4 for 5 against this man head to head. It seems to me, Joe, that Jason's done a real good job in the month of July against left-handed pitching.
He's put 2 good months back to back. Comes in hitting .273. He's very comfortable batting third. And he's spraying the ball to all parts of the ballpark and a few spots outside the ballpark.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And that will retire the side. The Marlins take a 3-0 lead into our 2nd inning. Brought to you in part by Ford, by the Home Depot, by AT&T, and by Blimpie. It's the second inning here at Turner Field. The Marlins got 3 runs on 5 hits in the first inning, and their pitcher Wade LeBlanc will lead things off against Ben Sheets. And that one finds the mark for an even count. Ground ball to second, and Ben Sheets wins the first battle of Louisiana. Wade's from Lake Charles, Louisiana. It is the first out of the second inning. Come watch the Braves take on the Astros this weekend. It's Ultimate Kids Day on Sunday with free Scouts Alley games, a pregame parade, and free museum access. Visit Braves.com/tickets or call 800-745-3000. Bonifacio bunted, was out of the batter's box at contact, but reached first, stole second, and came home on Lee's single. Slow roller toward first, and an easy play for Freddie. 2 outs.
Get another quick out, put that first inning behind you. Your Ben Sheets. Save on some pitches too, and get the middle of the order up.
Mentioned all these 160-something averages for the Marlins. Ken Murphy has one of them. What has to be so frustrating for the Miami club is several of these men were hitting over 300 at AAA, but hasn't carried over to the big league level. Murphy was at 302. Peterson was hitting 321 for the New Orleans club.
Well, he's had a good series, and he's putting the barrel on the baseball so far in this series, including his hit this game, the first inning.
Swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Ben Sheets, and indeed he does put that first inning in the rearview mirror. Middle of the order up for the Braves, down 3-0. Turner Field in Atlanta, our third of 4 with the Marlins. Here's a look at what's coming up. The next 4 games on this homestand presented by Jamison Ed.
Hopefully Mike Minor will continue his good work. He's had 4 straight outings that have been outstanding for the Braves against Nate Eovaldi, who was just acquired from the Dodgers. It'll be our first look at him this year. The Braves saw him last year while with LA, and then the Astros come to town. Hudson, Mahalam, and Medlin. Paul Mahalam getting his first start in the Braves uni on Saturday.
Chipper Jones, Freddie Freeman, and David Ross coming up for the Braves. High fly ball to center. Chipper's out number 1. Speaking of good series, can say that about Freddie Freeman. His work at the plate has been terrific. He's 5 for 7 so far against the Marlins and has a 3-game hitting streak. Still wearing that knee guard after he fouled the ball off his leg last night.
LeBlanc's fastball, not overpowering, upper 80s. He's got to rely on location. He's got to move it to both sides of the plate. That's a straight changeup. And that's 4 shakeoffs. That's 5.
Into center field. That's going to drop. 1 shake too many.
Yeah, boy.
That's the second Braves hit, and it brings up David Ross.
Like another straight changeup, and left it up. Sixth hit of the series for Freddie.
First action for David Ross in the series. 5 homers, 12 RBIs, a .274 average.
David's put in good work for the Braves in his starts. When he gives Brian McCann a day off, usually against left-handed pitching, and David's hit .311 against lefties.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Brian giving Eric Hinsky the stink eye look there.
And David's out number 2.
That's 2. Both strikeouts have been up and out of the zone. He got Hayward in the first, and now David Ross chases one. And you know what today is?
August 1st?
Yes, it is. Do you know what that means?
It's not July anymore?
And it's time for Dan Uggla to heat up.
Dan's 1 for 8 in the series. July 5th to August 13th last year, Dan Uggla had that 33-game hitting streak. He hit .377 in that stretch. And as we said last night, somebody's going to pay sometime.
It's been a rough couple of months for Dan Uggla. Hard to imagine a 115 July and only one homer. But then all of that's hard to believe. And just 2 for his last 32.
But as you've seen Dan play in his big league career with the Marlins and with the Braves, he'll swing himself into and out of his extended hitting slumps. This would be a great time to launch one. 3 balls and a strike.
Well, think of it this way. They've played really good baseball lately, especially in the 7-game streak. And because the offense has been going so good, they haven't needed him. Well, it's time to come around and take a little load off some of the other guys. Start hitting on all cylinders.
That, though, is something Dan's done a lot of. He is still walking. But he'd be the first to tell you it's a lot more fun to hit the ball hard at people, or past people, or over people. And he keeps the inning alive with a 2-out free pass for Paul Janisch. Paul scored a couple of runs in the series. That's way high from LeBlanc. And Buck out to talk it over.
Paul's 4 for 15 against the Fish, but he's also walked 3 times against them.
Marlins looked like they were on their way after a great month of May. It has not worked out that way. 18-34 after a 21-8 May. Shallow center, late break. Diving try, ball drops. 1 run scores, the center fielder's hurt. Peterson is hurt.
Stuck his glove hand right into the ground. Not a whole lot unlike Jason Worth when he injured himself with the Nationals.
That scored a double and an RBI. The Braves are on the board, but let's see where Peterson's hurting.
He's actually holding his right arm here. Not his glove hand.
I wonder if his shoulder, something happened to his shoulder when his arm went to go make for that dive attempt.
We like to refer to that as a subluxation, Chip. After seeing Dr. Joe Chandler earlier today, I'm pretty confident that, wow, that really did snap back there. Wonder if he'll be able to stay in the game. A couple of bloops this inning, very profitable for the Braves.
So Janisch picks up his second RBI as a Brave. Peterson wants to try to stay in the game. And Isagian wants baseball to see if he can throw. It's his throwing shoulder, too, that's problematic. Ozzie will replace the divot, and Peterson is going to try to stay in, at least for the moment.
Well, you'd certainly like to see Ben Sheets get a base hit to center field here and challenge that arm.
Braves have him second and third with 2 outs.
That was an odd looking injury.
We've seen guys do that falling to the ground where they've actually hit the shoulder or a collision. Never where the arm just trailed the body. Ben's 0 for 5 at the plate. Cut there, but fouled back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That was a good swing. One of the better swings we've seen him take in his first few starts.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Even just a ground ball to put it in play and put a little pressure on their defense would be good here. At least a little bobble or drop get you a run.
To third. Clean pickup and a perfect throw. The Braves got contact but settle for 1 run in the second inning. They do that on 2 hits. 3-1 game now after 2 at Turner Field. Three-1 is your score, and it's trivia time at the ballpark tonight. Our trivia, as always, brought to you by AT&T Uverse. Since Carlos Lee's debut in 1999, he's one of 3 players with 450 or more doubles and 350 or more homers. Name the other 2 players to have reached those milestones.
So those other 2 players came in at the same time or were already here and they accumulated those numbers alongside him. Either one is correct, I'm told.
Jim Thome comes to mind for some reason.
A-Rod and Chipper Jones do for me.
Yeah. Ball and a strike to Jose Reyes. And he drives this ball down the right field line. Reed Johnson gives chase, and that is a foul ball at the base of the right field fence. Good thing, too. That was at least 2 bases.
Just missed the chalk line, too. Right at the base of the fence.
Ooh.
Oh, that's just dirt that was thrown over there on the chalk. Don't get excited. So it was just the splash. Well, maybe not. that was a bad angle.
Well, the missed hits are even, at least. Remember, Bonifacio should have been out. Now Reyes should be at second or third. Popped up. Giannis dives at the line and makes the play.
This guy's been something, hasn't he? He's the only one that really had a shot at this. He called everybody off and lays out for it. What a catch. It'll be a fair ball, too. That saved a double. Man, oh man, what a play. And certainly Ben Sheets appreciates it.
So Carlos Lee bats. He singled, he scored, and he has an RBI tonight. Braves have a very impressive streak going. They haven't allowed more than 3 runs in the last 8 games. They spotted Miami 3 in the first.
Retired the last 6 in a row, so he's getting into a nice groove after a slow start.
On Lee will put him back in the stretch with a 2-for-2 game.
Jinxed him.
Change your air filters regularly to help your heating and cooling system run more efficiently. To learn about other ways to save energy and money this summer, visit georgiapower.com/tips. Six Marlins hits, all of them singles. And Greg Dobbs looks at a strike.
Greg Dobbs has a hitting streak going too. It's just that they're all on the road. He's now hit in 14 straight road games after his RBI single in the first.
That's an interesting thing to talk about too, because anytime a team moves into their new ballpark, which is the case with the Marlins, I always thought it was really a home field disadvantage for them, because they don't really know how their team is actually going to play in their new stadium. We've seen in our 2 trips down there how big that ballpark is. Almost wonder if the Marlins now are changing the composition of their team on the fly to be better offensively at Marlins Park.
I don't think it takes you that long to acclimate to a new ballpark. I mean, you're right. It is a huge expanse to cover. But, you know, after 2 or 3 home series, they should have that figured out. Now, in terms of how they thought they might try to play in it and adapt their game to it, you're right. That's a different story.
Lined on a short hop. Out at second. Quick throw to first and a double play. Lee was trapped in no man's land, but 2 long throws, and the arm of Giannis doubles up Dobbs to retire the side in the 3rd inning.
Paul had himself a good
There's a cutie at the ballpark tonight. 3-1 is our scores. We head to the bottom of the third inning. Top of the order coming up for the Braves, and that means Reed Johnson, and he's our SunTrust solid performer.
.391 on base percentage in his last 54 games. You see the good numbers against lefty pitching that we talked about. That's since 2003, that .313 average, and starts in all outfield positions.
Well, this time of year, a guy like him, really important. August, weather's hot. Guys have been grinding day after day, certainly in the case of Michael Bourne. Give him a chance to not take a night off, but just take a mental and physical break and plug in a very capable man like Reed Johnson.
Started with Toronto, went to the Cubs, the Dodgers, back to the Cubs. He's done something that only 3 other people in baseball history have done, and that is hit a leadoff homer in a game and hit a walk-off homer in the same game. Darren Erstad was the most recent to do that for the Angels. Vic Power did it for the Indians in the 50s or 60s, and then sliding Billy Hamilton for the Reds back in the 1800s.
That's a good day. And now a good count, 3 balls and a strike. Toward third, Murphy has it and throws on the run for out number 1. Here's Prado. Martin hit into a double play. That was in the Braves' first. Braves start play tonight, 2.5 games behind Washington. The Nationals are hosting the Phillies. That's Worley and Jackson at Nationals Park, and it's a 2-1 Washington game in the third. Keep you updated on that score as the night moves along. Strike 1.
Again, very Mark Burley like. Not an overpowering fastball. Pitches backwards rather. When he's behind in the count, you pretty much expect him not to give in and throw something off speed.
In the air to center, and Peterson gallops in a few steps. 2 outs. Base is empty for Jason Hayward, our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot subject.
Great numbers against the Fish. 9 RBIs and 10 runs in 10 games. Braves are 8-2 against Miami. Martin popped up a changeup much like Chipper did his first at bat to center field.
There's a laser hit toward left center field, but Dobbs is going back and he'll have room, and that retires the side. LeBlanc has set down the last 4 in order, and he protects a 3-1 lead.
hard at Turner Field, where the Marlins lead the Braves 3-1 in the 4th inning. When Reed Johnson led off for the Braves and got his first Atlanta at bat, he dropped down a bunt for a single. Chipper Jones was not surprised at all.
He's going to run through the outfield wall. He's going to dive for balls he probably shouldn't dive for. You know, things of that nature. So, kind of player and the kind of play that is infectious.
About especially in the dog days where everyone's looking for a little bit more energy, and specifically Freddie Gonzalez was looking to get Michael Bourne and Jason Hayward some days off. He'll fill in nicely there.
Indeed he will, Tom. Thank you very much for that report. As Brian Peterson leads off this 4th inning for the Marlins, an RBI single in the first.
I just go back to the deal itself. It was such a good deal for Atlanta in that it filled 2 needs. Another starting pitcher, and they got a veteran and a solid one in Paul Maholm, and they needed a guy off the bench, right-handed hitter, and they got that. And the price was nowhere near what it was going to be for Ryan Dempster, and that was only going to be a 1-player acquisition.
And a rental player, basically, because the Braves have a contract option for Maholm next season. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Peterson. That first inning single snapped an 0 for 13 slide.
I wonder if that shoulder injury will bother him when he's swinging. I know this, that as the night goes on, if he doesn't keep it loose, it'll tighten up and get worse.
Went down and got that ball and lined it into the seats foul.
By the way, before the bottom half of the 3rd inning began, Jose Reyes came out and was giving an earful to Sam Holbrook. I guess somebody had told from the clubhouse had told Reyes that it looked like his ball down the line was fair, and Reyes came out and was yelling at Sam.
Strike 3 at the knees. Peterson's out number 1. 3rd strikeout for Sheets tonight. We were able to read Holbrook's lips. He said, "I didn't see any chalk come up." And then Reyes was robbed on that great diving catch by Janisch. John Buck takes ball 1. He struck out swinging in the first. He's 0 for his last 20.
I went by to see the Marlins skipper today. Say hello to Ozzie. Able to catch him in his office. I asked him how he was doing, and I'd really like to tell you, but this is prime time and I can't.
Swing and a miss. Buck is out number 2. Well, you can catch the show, the franchise, and get a pretty good idea, I imagine.
He still cracks me up, and says he's doing fine. His head's fine, he said. Just like his team to play a little better.
And I guarantee you they're going to be a much different looking club when Mike Stanton comes back and after this season. A lot of money's coming off the books. I like the baseball trade that they made with the Tigers. We'll see if it pans out for them. But someone said that they envision the Marlins maybe being like a 1980s Cardinals style offense next season if they can do that. Reyes and Bonifacio, the speedsters, and then Mike Stanton, the big bopper.
Well, they've got a good start with those 2 guys you just mentioned. The middle infielders. games to me. I remember on one of those Cardinals teams, Tommy Herr hit like 8 homers and drove in 110 runs for them too. So they might need somebody like that if that's the way they decide to go.
Ground ball. Freddie dives, makes the play, but it rolls out of his glove, and let's see if he's all right.
Thought he had it. Did he kick it kind of with his knee as his knee was trying to come up? Because his glove turned over and the ball was kind of peeled out of there, and then almost like he knocked it away from himself.
That's ruled an infield hit for Cousins. It clears the pitcher LeBlanc, and he takes a strike.
Another angle on it here. And yeah, it's like when he came to his knee that the knee hit it.
Line drive down the left field line will drop in for a fair ball. And that's off the heel of Martin Prado's glove and headed toward the corner. Cousins around third is going to score, and the Marlins extend their lead to 4-1.
Well, this is really a tough break for Ben Sheets because of the infield hit. And then Martin's trying to maybe do a little too much here to prevent the runner from going first to third. And by having his glove turned the way he did, exposed the heel of his glove, and the ball hit off of it and sprang too far away from him.
It's a double and an E7 that allowed Cousins to score. And that is the 4th run. First time in 9 games the Braves have allowed as many as 4 runs in a ball game. And now the top of the order is Bonifacio. He's singled and scored. That single a bunt in the opening inning. And now he unloads deep right center field. Reed Johnson going over and makes the catch. And that retires the side. The Marlins pick up another run with 2 outs. 4-1. Last of the 4th. Lovely night in Atlanta, but the Braves have some comeback work to do. Down 4-1 here in the 4th inning. It'll start with Chipper Jones. And the Braves, as you know, have created a limited edition set of Chipper Jones commemorative prints. They'll be given away on 4 Fridays, August 17th, August 31st, September 14th, and September 28th. They're presented by SunTrust, and each print reflects a different stage of his career. Call 800-745-3000 or visit Braves.com/tickets today. August 17th, will be the Dodgers. August 31st, the Phillies. September 14th, the Washington Nationals. Our final home look at the Nats. And then the 28th, again the Mets. How ironic is it that Chipper's final home game for the Braves will be played against the team from New York that he's tormented so long in his big league career, at least as far as regular season play is concerned. And LeBlanc a quick strike as he starts his fourth inning. He's retired 4 straight. He's scattered 3 hits, has given up 1 run. Another fly ball off the bat of Chipper, this time to right. Cousins is there and has it for the first out.
We were talking about Chipper's 25 year last night. And that season was 99 when he won the MVP award. He hit 45 home runs and drove in 110. And yes, he stole 25 bases, was only caught 3 times. 25 out of 28. Not bad, huh? Had a .441 on base percentage that year.
There's a shot off the bat of Freddie Freeman. That's headed for the right field fence. And Freddie doubles with 1 out. He's 2 for 2.
Seventh hit of the series. And if you're going to come in there, you better come in tighter than that, because he can clear his hips and get his hands through and the barrel on the baseball.
.24 doubles.
Hit 32 last year.
David Ross swung and missed a high fastball in his first at bat and was struck out. Didn't get that one either. 0-1 the count.
Circle change. His changeup goes 73 miles an hour versus his fastball, which is about 87 or 88.
That's down the right field line, but headed for the seats.
Tell you who else he reminds me of, and was a big influence on him, I'm sure, is his old manager in San Diego, and that's Bud Black, who pitched in a similar fashion. May have had a little better fastball, but very much relied on keeping the ball down and changing speeds. I'm sure he learned a lot from Blackie.
David still alive and still 0-2. John Buck asked for time.
His fastball is certainly good enough that if you're going to sit on the off-speed stuff behind the count, he can throw it by you. It's zippy enough to run it in on your hands. Spoiled a good pitch there. Good swing by David. Johnson and Mark Burley talk it over. After Johnson wasn't traded at the deadline, he said he wants to finish his career as a Marlin.
We'll see if he gets that chance. The way he pitched against the Braves the last time we saw him, I'm sure there are a lot of Atlanta hitters that wish he wasn't going to stay in our division. His last start, so-so. A lot of scouts watched him pitch. Marlins were apparently asking for 2 or 3 of every team's top prospects to pry him away.
Long conversation here between the pitcher and catcher, and maybe because they don't know each other real well. First start for LeBlanc. I know he's been in some games out of the bullpen, but runner at second, 1 out. How do you want to work to get this guy retired?
David laid off that pitch downstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's the pitch he chased in his first at bat.
Now, the first one wasn't supposed to be in the dirt, but it was supposed to be kind of a setup for that high fastball, hoping he would chase it again. Just change his eye level from very low to out of the zone, up.
So this will be the 8th pitch of the at bat. And Ross is down on strikes.
And chased a bad ball and knew it. Well off the plate, and kind of decided late to go after it.
So Freddie Freeman's at second. 2 are out for Dan Uggla. Miami walked him in the second. Paul Janusz then delivered a run-scoring double.
This guy pitches well the rest of the season. He could be a good back of the rotation starter for the Marlins, or at the very least a good swing man out of the bullpen and into the rotation. He'll turn 26 next week, and he's only got 2 years in the big league, so they've got him under control for a while too, and was a former number 2 pick by the Padres out of the University of Alabama.
1 ball, 1 strike for Dan Uggla. That's fouled at the plate. Well, he certainly was effective at AAA. 91 strikeouts, only 20 walks, and 16 starts. 5-5 with New Orleans, a .374 earned run average. He's been staked to a 4-1 lead in the 4th tonight. Something else about this Marlins team that might strike you as odd. Despite a losing record, they've only used 7 different starting pitchers all year. LeBlanc is the 6th. Nate Eovaldi's the 7th one. In fact, there's only one big league club remaining that's used 5 starters and 5 starters only, and that's the Reds. That's a ground ball toward first base. Carlos Lee will make the play, and the Braves can't cash in. Freddie Freeman's 1-out double. "4-1 is your score as we begin play on August the 1st. Braves played so well in July, you almost hate to see it disappear, as you see on the Academy Sports and Outdoor Leaderboard.
Third best record in the major leagues.
Johnny Murphy swings the first pitch, high throw, and Freeman just did get the toe down.
Well, a couple of qualities you like in a first baseman, you'll see right here. Long arms and big feet. Both came into play there.
1 away in the 5th. Here's Reyes. He bunted in the 1st. Should have had a double, maybe a triple in the 3rd. As a ball hit the chalk but was called foul. And now he's going to line one into center. And has his first hit. That's a 19-game hitting streak now for Reyes. One shy of his career high of 20. See if he's running. Marlins love to do that. They've stolen 110 bases, including Bonifacio's tonight. Reyes is picked off. He was leaning and is out number 2.
Another good save by Freddie Freeman, too, on a bad throw. A short hop throw that Freddie had to come off the bag to short hop and pulled him right into Reyes. Second time the Braves have picked Reyes off. Remember, Tommy Hanson did it with a balk move from the mound to second base.
So that helps. And Lee takes high for ball 1. Fouled back and out of play by the big Miami first baseman Carlos Lee. 1-2.
Wondered how long LeBlanc might go tonight in his first start. Well, the guy he replaced in the rotation, you see they're already up and tossing.
Joe West all right. Might have gotten hit on the recoil by Carlos Lee on that play.
He's got long arms. Oh my. He sure did.
It cut him too.
That's so close to the temple and the eye. New quarterback from Elon. Got dinged pretty good there. That was scary. That's one of the scariest ones ever, because the umpires don't wear a protective helmet, don't have that, in this case doesn't have a wraparound mask.
One ball, 2 strikes. And now 2-2. Pitch number 79 is cut on and missed. And Sheets has his 5th strikeout. He's due up second as the Braves trail 4-1.
Diving, laid out catch. Check it out. Freeze it right there. Great catch by Paul. Saved an extra base hit. That was the Coors Light Freeze Cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
And how many times do you see it, Joe? The man wins the Freeze Cam honors and leads off the next inning.
Gets right off the cold train and gets right in the box.
And Paul has a hit and an RBI. The lone RBI for the Braves tonight. Miami got 3 first inning runs. They did it on 5 singles. Then added a 2-out run in the 4th. Wade LeBlanc pitching very effectively for Miami tonight.
.68 pitches and no real stress.
And if you think about heat and humidity affecting him, wouldn't think that would be a problem at all. Louisiana kid, you mentioned he played college ball at Alabama. Looks pretty comfortable right now ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Line drive into left center field. Giannis has his second hit. Good start to the 5th inning. 4th hit in the series for Giannis.
Gives Ben Sheets an opportunity to move him up.
It's been a while since he's sacrificed successfully. Puck avoids the batter runner and makes the throw to first. Sheets moves Giannis to second.
Nice job.
For more on that, let's check in with Tom.
Guys, that bunt right there and that sacrifice is a product of a lot of extra work that Ben Sheets has been putting in. In fact, a few days ago when batting practice on the field wasn't available, he grabbed Carlos Tosca, dragged him back into the cage and said, I need some time to work on my bunting. And you're seeing it pay off right now.
Bat out in front of him. Top of the strike zone. Just dropped the barrel down. Caught the ball with the baseball. Then ran a Z pattern to get around John Buck.
Interesting that you say Z pattern, because Carlos Zambrano is going to come on and pitch for Miami. Wade LeBlanc will be taken down in this 5th inning, with the Marlins leading by a 4-1 score. By Burger King and by Ram Trucks. Wade LeBlanc pitched to beauty tonight, but didn't go deep enough to qualify for the win. He leaves, though, with a 4-1 advantage as the Braves have 1 on, 1 out in their half of the 5th inning.
Just 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Mixed his pitches up nicely, but you got to go 5 to be the pitcher of record, and he was 2 outs away from that. So could be the conditioning part of it, Chip, the fact that he had been in the bullpen for a while, but he didn't get much of an opportunity to finish this inning. As Zambrano comes in, as you see, 21 games for him, and all but 1 as a starter, so he's certainly groomed to go multiple innings.
He's not real thrilled about being out of the starting rotation, but his performance as a starter was so bad, the Marlins had no choice but to use him in relief. He faces his old teammate Reed Johnson. And a quick strike. In fact, for Zambrano, a couple of days ago, made his first appearance since August of 2010 in relief.
And gave up an unearned run in an inning and 2/3, 2 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts.
And how bad was Carlos going? His last 7 decisions, 1-6, a .762 earned run average. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. Yanish singled to start the inning, was sacrificed second by Ben Sheets. Two and two. Johnson's down on strikes. Zambrano retires his first man faced. 2 out.
Missed badly with some sliders out into the left-handed batter's box. Then came back with a couple of good pitches that tied Reed up inside with the fastball, and then the slider, front door slider, got it.
Prado's 2 for 7 against Zambrano. It's a big run out there at second base to get. Braves down 4-1. Nothing in 2.
That Martin was sitting on that breaking ball to try to fire it into right field. He'd like to get that run in and atone for that run he allowed on the error in the 4th inning.
Told you we keep an eye on the Phillies and Nationals. Nate Shearholtz has hit his first homer as a member of the Phillies. And they lead Washington 3-2 in the top of the 5th inning.
We talk about going from the Grand Canyon to a small national park from San Francisco to Citizens Bank.
So everybody in Braves country is absolved if you want to be a Phillies fan tonight, tomorrow. Braves have some work to do themselves. Down 4-1, 2-2 pitch to Prado. And a ground ball to the right side. Bonifacio's got it and makes the play to retire the side. On we go to the 6th inning. Carlos Zambrano and the Marlins enjoy a 4-1 lead. One all season long. Braves baseball on Sports App is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. Hot muggy night in Atlanta.
Nobody knows how to fan like a baseball fan in the South.
Greg Dobbs will lead things off for the Fish. He has an RBI single. He's also hit into a double play. 80 pitches for Ben Sheets tonight. And now an even count. And Dave Baker looking up for us. Can you name the last Braves starter to begin his Atlanta career 4-0?
Uh-oh, more trivia.
I'll be nice. I'll give you all the hints you want.
You already told me the answer. Sorry.
First, the 1-2 pitch for Greg Dobbs. And it's queued up the middle. Yanish behind the second base bag. Handles cleanly for the first out. Tommy Hanson went 4-0 in 2009. Tommy, if you missed it, placed on the disabled list yesterday with a sore back. Braves will hope that 15 days on the DL will allow that to calm down. They also made a roster move tonight. And then Paul Maholm has finally joined the ball club. Paul will start this weekend. And they've placed Jair Jurgens on the disabled list with a groin strain. So Paul Maholm will pitch Saturday. Chris Medlin will pitch Sunday. Joe mentioned Mike Minor here tomorrow night. And Tim Hudson opens the Houston series. And that one foul passed first by Peterson. Strike one.
Really anxious to see Mike back out there again tomorrow. He's been doing such a good job. Of course, that guy, everybody fired up about his work last night. Chris Medlin in his first start since 2010. Terrific job. Gave up a homer in the first and nothing else.
And amazingly, when Chris Medlin starts, the Braves are now 15-4. That's fouled at the plate. Peterson stays alive, still 0-2.
Good straight changeup from Ben there. Peterson able to get a piece of it.
That's over the outside corner. 6 strikeouts for Ben Sheets.
This is the one that the lefties give up on so quickly. That good curve ball that he takes a little off. Looks like it's going to hang and not come back to the zone. And boy, it just rolls over the top and drops right into the outside corner.
Two outs for John Buck. He has struck out twice. He went around, strike one.
We were showing those good records for the month of July. That Oakland ball club pushed themselves right into the American League West picture, didn't they?
That's in the air to right center field, and that's going to get down. Reed Johnson will try to cut it off in front of the track. He will. But Buck is in safely with a 2-out double. And not just Oakland, but the Angels, too. That's a 3-team race all of a sudden out west.
John Bucksnapp's an 0 for 17 and was behind in the count when he got that double. Yeah, Oakland only 3.5 out entering play today, behind Texas. Ball club not too many people know a lot about, but they've got good, solid pitching.
Not just the AL race, but all of a sudden the National League race is a 3-team affair. Know about all the moves that the Giants and Dodgers made at the deadline. Take a look at the standings and look who's in third place all of a sudden. Arizona's only 3 games out. Cousins will walk. And Carlos Zambrano, the pitchers, do next, but he's, as you know, a very good hitting pitcher.
Yeah, and Arizona beat the Dodgers today 4-0.
Intentional walk puts Cousins at first, Buck at second. Zambrano gets his first at bat of the night.
And a good hitter.
Braves are excited to bring legendary Southern Rockers Leonard Skinner to Turner Field for a free post-game concert after the Saturday, September 1st game against the Phillies. Visit Braves.com/tickets or get your tickets by phone, 800-745-3000. .24 lifetime homers for Zambrano. Nothing in 2.
This year 6 for 33 with a homer and 2 RBIs, only 7 strikeouts.
He moved up in the box with that pitch and swung and missed. Sheets strikes out Zambrano. The Marlins threatened but failed to score in the 6th, and the Braves' order is up, down 4-1. Five hits through 5 innings. Now it's Carlos Zambrano out for his first full inning as the Marlins enjoy a 4-1 lead. Since Carlos Lee's debut in 1999, he's one of 3 players with 450 or more doubles and 350 or more homers. The AT&T Uverse trivia question asks us to name the other 2.
I'm going to stick with A-Rod and Chipper.
I will go Jim Thome. Dave says no. I'm going to go with Jim Thome and Chipper.
They weren't on my radar.
You're in that other league too. Ground ball foul by Jason Hayward.
That's a lot of doubles too, by the way. So your choice of Jim Thome was a good pick because of the DH factor.
I've been around people with lots of doubles, Joe. 450 is nothing. One ball, one strike. Yeah, but Carlos Lee, very quietly, has had an outstanding big league career. Jason did get a fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Carlos kind of telegraphed that off-speed pitch, really slowed his delivery down, made it easy for Hayward to pick up.
That pitch sunk out of sight, and Jason missed it. 1 down.
That was a way better off-speed pitch. Better motion on it. Fooled Jason. And he turned it over. A two-seamer that had good sinking action on it.
Now he faces Chipper with the bases empty and 1 out. That was called a strike. It's 1-1.
In his 2 relief appearances against the Braves, of the 8 batters he's faced in this series, he struck out 5 of them.
Well, there's never been any question about this guy's stuff. He's got all the pitches. Especially in his days with Chicago, you always wondered if his emotions got the best of him. I mean, he was easily rattled. He would get on umpires, get on teammates, had a well-publicized altercation with Michael Barrett in the clubhouse one time. And I think some of that's a shame because this man's a very talented pitcher. I mean, he's been an 18-game winner. He's a 3-time All-Star.
Cubs tried everything they could.
Yep. The thing to remember about Zambrano too, this man's only 30 years old.
Is that right?
Only 30.
I didn't know that.
And he walked Chipper with 1 out. And while he's pitching here in Miami with the Marlins, I believe this is the last year of his contract. Indeed it is. And the Cubs are paying the vast majority of that salary. Zambrano will be a free agent option at season's end for the rest of Major League Baseball, unless, of course, Isaac Ian and the Marlins bring him back. One on, 1 out for Freddie Freeman, who's 2 for 2. And now Buck wants to talk about it. Mentioned a couple of nights ago about Zambrano. He has a real cool biographical note. He's pitched a no-hitter. Pitched a no-hitter for the Cubs against Houston. But the game was played at Miller Park in Miami. Horrible rain problems, flooding problems in Houston. They had to move the games to a neutral site. And Zambrano didn't allow a hit. That was September 14th, 2008. It's the first no-hitter for the Cubs in 36 years. The last Cub was Milt Pappas.
He's in good shape, and it's obvious that he's trying to become more of a pitcher instead of a thrower. But it's almost like he's trying too many off-speed pitches. He's, like I said, he had struck out 5 of the first 8 he had faced in this series. and then tried to get cute with Chipper after getting ahead in the count and wound up walking him, and now he's 3-0 to Freddie doing the same thing.
In the air, left center field. That's going to get down for a hit. Freddie Freeman's 3 for 3, and the Braves will bring the tying run to the plate in the 6th inning. And David Ross will be that man with 1 out.
You get a freebie here, 3-0. You just try to make sure it's a good pitch to hit. And it really wasn't a bad pitcher's pitch. Fastball to the outside corner, running away from him a little bit. Freddie got enough of it for the base knock. Braves are in business. You know, last night or 2 nights ago, I talked about how Zambrano at times was his own worst enemy because he always wanted to throw hard, harder, and hardest whenever he got in trouble. And now it's almost like he's trying to go 180 degrees the other way.
The other question I have is, as a starting pitcher, you can work with 4 pitches. Can you afford to do that pitching out of the bullpen?
If they're working, yes. But I don't know if you've got time enough to find out if they're all working. And if you're only a 1-inning guy, or even shorter than that, a specialty guy, you may only need a couple of pitches because you're not going to go through the order certainly more than once, and maybe just a couple of hitters. For Zambrano, he may go through the order a couple of times, which might mean he'd need all of his pitches.
In the air, shallow right, but that's going to be caught by Cousins for the 2nd out. Dan Uggla bats. Dan is 3 for 11 against Zambrano. 2 of those hits were homers.
Randy St. Clair used to be the guy who would wear out the grass between the dugout and the mound. Made a lot of trips to the mound for the Expos in the old days, and now the Marlins. He's not having to do that quite as much. Maybe buying a little time here for Mike Dunn to get ready. Saw him in the pen.
By the way, how do you like John Buck's mask? Pretty cool paint job, isn't it? He's got 2 different kinds of fish on that mask. Here's Uggla.
I would hope they were Marlins.
Slider strike. Just missed. 1-1 the count.
Pretty good pitch. That might have been looking for something else. That 2-seamer.
Giannis is on deck. Let's see if Zambrano continues to be careful with Dan Uggla and his power potential here. He protects a 4-1 lead, but Uggla represents the tying run. Two and two.
Might have expanded his zone a little bit there too.
Hot shot, fair and down the left field line. Chipper will score. Freeman on his way to third. He'll be stopped. It's a 4-2 game.
Like Zambrano went to that breaking ball once too often. Tried to throw it inside, and it came right back to the middle of the plate, which allowed Dan to drop the barrel on it and just hooked it past Murphy. So there's an August double and an RBI.
Atta baby. 50th RBI for Uggla. 4-2 game now, and Giannis backed away. The pitcher spot is due next. Fly ball left center field. Dobbs, though, is there, and that retires the side. Giannis hit that one right on the button. Dan Uggla doubles down the left field line and scores Chipper and makes it a 4-2 game. And here are our McDonald's fans of the game.
No, don't eat the tomahawk, Jimmy. You've got concessions that are a lot better than that tomahawk to eat. Look at your pal right next to you. He's got a little ice cream, some Dippin' Dots working.
Yeah, he's got the right idea. As Ben Sheets goes to work in the 7th inning, this will be the longest outing for Ben in a Braves uniform if he can get at least one out. He's gone 6 innings in each of his first 3 starts. And Bonifacio now an even count. Little pop. Uggla going out. Dan tracks it down. 1 away.
He had a beat on this all the way. Just a matter of the umpire getting out of his way. And Dan never took his eye off of it.
Sheets right at 100 pitches. He's given up 4 runs, but 3 of those runs came in the very first inning when Miami had 5 singles. Strike 1. The other run came with 2 outs in the 4th inning, an infield hit, a double, and an error. That plated Scott Cousins.
Yeah, that one really hurt. Because it happened so fast and happened after there were 2 out, nobody on.
Sheets strikes out Murphy. That's 8 for Ben. And 2 quick outs. We invite you to get your Chipper Jones 4-game plan today. Those plans include a ticket to 4 Friday games, including Chipper Jones Night, September 28th, and a set of 4 Chipper Jones commemorative prints presented by SunTrust. Those packages begin at $71. Visit Braves.com/Chipper or call 404-577-9100. And a bullet off the bat of Jose Reyes comes with 2 outs.
He is locked in right now. It's another reason why you wonder what in the world he was thinking when he tried to bunt in the first inning with runners on the corners.
That'll be the last pitch of the night for Ben Sheets. He threw 104 unofficially. 4 runs, 11 hits. After a rough first inning, he really buckled down and has given the Braves a chance to come back in this ball game. It's a 4-2 score, and we're back to Turner Field after this. But he did pitch very effectively after the rough first inning.
Only 1 walk, and that was an intentional pass, so a good outing all around outside the first inning. And now Chad Durbin adds to his team high appearance number. This is number 51. 3-1 with a 3.29 ERA. He was in the game yesterday. Worked an inning, gave up a hit, 0s across otherwise, hasn't allowed a run since he gave up some runs to the Giants on the 18th of July.
And Freddie Gonzalez hopes this is a 1-hitter and done outing for Durbin. The pitcher's spot, in other words Chad's spot, is due when the Braves come up in the last of the 7th inning.
Keep an eye on Reyes again. Sheets picked him off earlier.
Chad delivers a strike. Close play, and Reyes just did get back.
He almost got turned sideways on it. His crossover step going back, he was almost, his shoulders and hips were almost lined up more toward right field.
Nothing in 2. Good stop by David Ross.
I don't know when they started doing this, but anytime a runner got picked off, they started counting it as a caught stealing. And that wasn't always, it's not always the case, where the guy may just have fallen asleep or just got picked off honestly when he wasn't stealing. I'm not sure that that ought to be applicable to a guy's success ratio on stolen base attempts.
Oh boy, was that close. Another quick tag by Freeman.
Yeah, it looked like Jose was still in the air on that one. Yep. He got a break there after not getting an extra base hit earlier tonight, so I guess he's even.
A ball and 2 strikes to Lee. Runner goes. Pitch cut on and fouled away.
Got a 1-2 count. If you want to guess and pitch out, you can, or at the very least work a pitch away.
Runner goes. Lee protects the plate.
You know, Ross wants a chance to throw him out. Bonifacio still second in the first inning, and David got rid of the ball quickly, but he was in a little bit of a hurry, rushed his throw a little bit.
Reyes doesn't go this time, and the pitch taken high to even the count. There was the pitch out. Reyes didn't move. Now the count's full. He'll be going with 2 outs. Ball 4. Braves paid an awful lot of attention to Jose Reyes. They got ahead of Carlos Lee, couldn't finish him off, and the inning is extended with 2 on, 2 out, and Freddie Gonzalez will go take down Chad Durbin.
I had Luis Avilan in the bullpen a minute ago. Looks like he might get the call.
So 2 on, 2 out, 7th inning, 4-2 Marlins game. We'll tell you who the new Braves pitcher will be in a moment. And Durbin taken down. Luis Avilan is on, with the Marlins threatening to add to their 4-2 lead.
He's done good work. This will be his 6th game. He pitched here 2 days ago. 2 innings of 3-hit relief. Gave up a run, but it was unearned. Walked 2 and struck out 3 in those 2 innings. And needs to get Greg Dobbs here without any damage being done, as the Braves have closed within 2.
The Marlins, as you know, have struggled all year with runners in scoring position, hitting .230 in that statistic as a team. Taking part in .225 with runners in scoring position as a team. Dobbs, though, has been one of their best. He's at .341. So a dangerous man, even with the lefty on the hill. Bounced off the plate. Giannis charges, fields and fires in time to retire the side. Dobbs bounces out. We stretch in Atlanta. 4-2, the Marlins lead. Jameson in by the Georgia Lottery and by McDonald's. 4-2's your score. The Braves coming up in the bottom of the 7th inning. They'll have the 9, 1, and 2 spots coming up. Luis Avilan will be taken down for a pinch hitter. And the Braves will feast their eyes on big right-hander Heath Bell, formerly the Marlins closer.
Well, he's formerly, because that 5.66 ERA and 23 walks in 41 innings, 6 blown saves. Man, he looks big.
And most of Bell's troubles have come on the road, ironically. He's 0-4 with a 7.02 ERA away from Marlins Park. That's 13 runs in 16 2/3 innings.
He's listed 6'2", 260.
And he'll face a red-hot Juan Francisco to start the 7th. In his last 8 games, Francisco has 10 hits, 2 homers, 8 RBIs. And Joey's not been pulling everything.
No, he's been doing a great job of using the whole field. He's going to have to make Heath Bell get the ball up a little bit. Bell, a fastball, slider, split finger pitcher. wants to air it out, he can. That one at 93, but he can throw in the mid 90s, 95, 96 at times.
Bell signed through the 2015 season. He was 34 years old on opening day. And he just took care of Francisco with 94-mile-an-hour heat. 1 out. Get ready for Star Wars night at Turner Field on Friday. The Astros will be in town and will be supporting Stand Up to Cancer. Throw on your best costume and meet your favorite Star Wars characters before the game in the plaza. Visit Braves.com/Star Wars for details. Reed Johnson's making his Braves debut tonight and had a bunt single in his first Atlanta at bat. Strike one.
Oh, had a good cut at that. Reed's out of California, went to Cal State Fullerton and was an academic All-American. Great baseball school, of course.
Looking for his first career hit against Heath Bell and has some hard work to do. He's behind 0-2. Hasn't gotten his shoe order yet. Still borrowing Dan Uggla's number 26s. Now 2-2.
And they don't look like regular spikes. They look like the molded plastic cleats. Although there may be some spikes somewhere in there that I can't see.
Line drive base hit. Reed Johnson has his second hit of the night. He fell behind 0-2 and then hit a 2-2 pitch to left.
Tell you what, he can throw the big end of that bat out there. Hanging slider. He stayed up about belt high and he was able to adjust to it. Tying run to the plate.
Martin Prado's turn. I would imagine for a guy like Bell, you have a couple of bad outings, you're trying to make an impression for your new team with all the buzz around the Marlins. It just snowballs for him. And he has not been able to stop the bleeding at all this year.
And that's why you see him pitching in the 7th and not the 9th.
Again pondering the lineup card. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's checking the Braves roster and who's up, who's due up.
Lined into the seats. The Braves have a pretty salty left-hand hitting bench tonight. Already used Francisco. They have Hinsky. They have McCann. They have Bourne.
Yeah, and what they're looking at, I would guess, is getting a left-hander up for either Hayward and chip or switch hitter, doesn't matter. Then you got Freeman and then possibly a pinch hitter for Ross if the Braves are able to get an inning going.
And Mike Dunn is the lefty up in the pen. Bounced foul to the right side. Prado will see another pitch.
He took that right out of John Buck's glove. Dunn, a former Brave. How late at Martin hit that one. It was almost by him. This is where Martin can really go into guard the plate mode against a guy like Heath Bell. Runner at first, big hole on the right side, behind in the count, trying to make sure that they don't slip anything by him in the middle of the plate away, and try to inside out his swing to anything else that's inside.
He serves that ball to the right side, but Bonifacio with his good speed makes the play. Reed Johnson to second. There are 2 out. Here's Jason Hayward.
They did come in on him, and he did take an inside out swing. They just got it in on him a little too much. Couldn't get the barrel to it.
So Azakian does not want to let Jason Hayward face Heath Bell here. He will go to his bullpen and call on Mike Dunn and set up the lefty-lefty matchup. Miami will also make a change in their outfield. We'll document that for you as we come back here in the last of the 7th inning. Seventh did allow the Reed Johnson hit. He departs. Azakian makes a change and brings on Mike Dunn. Before we tell you about Dunn's here, let's tell you about our Chevron pitching matchup. We wrap up the series here tomorrow night. First pitch 7 o'clock. Braves live at 6:30 Eastern time.
2 young guys go at it. Eovaldi just came over from the Dodgers in the deal for Hanley Ramirez, and Mike Minor on a good run of good pitching, hoping to continue that tomorrow. Mike Dunn has had his share of issues this year. In fact, he was sent back to AAA earlier this year, back with the big club now. 17 walks in 28 innings. Throws hard. Lefties this year, hitting .245 against him. One of the things he said he learned when he went back to AAA was that when he was asked to pitch multiple innings, he realized, wow, I better kind of pace myself a little bit. And he found that when he backed off from trying to throw 96 and 97 and was only throwing 92 or 93, he was getting better movement on his fastball, and he was hoping to use that knowledge when he came back to the big leagues.
Miami also has a new left fielder. Gorkis Hernandez makes his Marlins debut. Hernandez, a former Brave, you might recall, at least a former Brave minor leaguer.
You know, they always said he'd play at Turner Field.
So here's Jason with 2 outs. Strike one. Got the Braves with 6 men left on base so far tonight. All 6 have been in scoring position. And they've got a 7th in Reed Johnson here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, the late stages of the ball game, you get the deficit down to 1 run. It sure makes it easier on you if you've got to manufacture 1 run instead of trying to have it a rally for a couple.
Braves so far tonight are 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position. And Laser Baker says they're 9 for 32 in the series.
Good eye bag, Jason. Good patience.
Braves would love to get Chipper Jones up in this inning. He's on deck. And they're 1 pitch away from that happening. 3 balls and a strike.
Well, he really aimed that one. Came close to making a big mistake with it, too. He's fortunate that that slider was enough off the plate that Jason didn't offer.
Full count.
He's got the luxury of having a base open, but it's also, Jason represents the tying run. But you could see there, he didn't want to give in and just throw a 3-2 fastball. He threw a 3-2 slider, took a little off of it just to try to get it over. But Jason spoiled it. I don't think he wants to have Chipper come up, though, with runners at first and second. And Chipper representing the go-ahead run. Kind of a surprising choice of pitches to me.
Another 3-2 to Jason. And Chipper will come up. Jason Hayward's patience has really paid off.
Sure has, once again, and maybe that's why he was throwing the breaking ball, because he couldn't get his fastball over.
So here is Chipper 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Lifetime against Dunn. Chipper Jones 2 for 5 with a double.
Make him throw you a strike. Get a good pitch to hit. This guy can walk the ballpark, so you get a good pitch count, you're liable to get one right down Broadway. Jose Reyes in with some encouragement. Here comes Randy St. Clair again. And Chipper having a chat at the plate, and see where that bat hit him on the follow through by Carlos Lee earlier tonight. Pretty nasty scratch. He missed it. Watch this follow through by Carlos Lee. It's bad enough, but it could have been so much worse if it had hit him in the head. And I mean, above the ear, back of the head.
Downstairs. Braves doing excellent work in recognizing who's in trouble. It's Mike Dunn.
You like those numbers against lefties. A lot of confidence right-handed right now.
Freddie Freeman's 3 for 3 and on deck.
He got a green light 3-0 his last time up. You can bet that Chipper's got a green light here, but a very small strike zone.
Four straight, loads the bases.
Chipper was swinging, but smart enough to lay off that pitch. And in drawing the walk, moves the potential tying run into scoring position.
So here's Freddie Freeman, 3 for 3 tonight. Loves to swing at the first pitch. That's what he's done with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. And you've got Mike Dunn, who's just walked the last 2 hitters.
Get a good pitch to hit. Freddie's 4 for his last 4, dating back to last night.
Ball 1.
No one throwing in the Marlins bullpen. Chad Gaudin is beginning to play a little catch, but not really getting loose.
Line drive right field, but that's going to be caught. Cousins is there, and Mike Dunn somehow escaped the 7th inning. The 8th inning. Here's tonight's Blimpie game summary.
Ben Sheets got the start for the Braves, trying to go 4-0 on the year, but ran into some trouble in the first inning. Gave up 3 runs on 5 hits in the first inning, and the Braves have been playing catch-up ever since. Wade LeBlanc came out without going the necessary 5 for the win. Carlos Lee's had a good night. Freddie Freeman 3 for 4 and just hit another rocket, but right at the right fielder with the bases loaded there in the bottom of the 7th.
So another AT call to the bullpen. This one answered by side-wheeling right-hander Corey Guerin. He'll have the bottom part of the Marlins order coming up.
He was leading Gwinnett in saves. Good numbers, a 1.27 ERA. Pitched here last night, the first inning after the rain delay, and had a very good inning against Murphy, Reyes, and Lee, and retired him 1-2-3.
He's got Peterson, Buck, and Cousins in the 8th tonight. Brian Peterson, 1 for 3. That hit came in the first inning and drove in the 3rd Miami run. Braves have single runs in the 2nd and the 6th. Marlins 3 in the 1st, 1 in the 4th. They have 11 hits. To Freeman on a big hop, and Freddie makes the play, 1 out.
Guerin with a lot of Georgia ties, went to Young Harris College and also Mercer University. Braves drafted him in the 4th round in 2007.
John Buck 1 for 3. A couple of strikeouts and a 2-out double in the 6th. Inside corner, a ball and 2 strikes.
Tough to pull the trigger on that one. When that side armor throws the pitch right at you and causes you to freeze, maybe rock back on your heels a little bit.
Buck fought that one off. In the Braves 8th, Ross, Ugla, Janisch are scheduled.
Oh. That one at the middle of the plate, and I don't know what was wrong with that one.
Nothing wrong with that one, though. 2 out. Nine Marlins have struck out tonight. That's the first for Guerin. Buck has been fanned 3 times tonight. And here's Scott Cousins with bases empty. Freeman at first. To the bag. Corey continues his impressive work out of the bullpen. 3 up, 3 down. Braves down a pair of runs, 4-2. It's late at Turner Field.
We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Time for the Coors Light cold hard fact, and it has to do with the Braves catching tandem of David Ross and Brian McCann. Most home run by catchers, team leaders. Braves and the Red Sox tied at 23. With the Rockies and White Sox and Blue Jays following. You know that, is it Will Castillo for the Rockies? It's had such a good year. Willen is his first name.
Wilton or Wilkin? We'll get Gretchen to check.
He's been, I remember when he played a little bit against the Braves real early in the year and he hit a home run and caught everybody's attention. He's had a sensational year. Wilkin Castillo.
So let's see if the Braves can start a rally in the 8th. David Ross grabs a bat and goes to work first. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Strike one. They're in the 8th inning now in Washington. Phillies still lead the Nationals. That's a 3-2 score. Here it's 4-2 Marlins. David bunts. At third, no play. It's a bunt single for David Ross.
I really thought Murphy was going to have a play on him because he bunted it hard. But Murphy, once he barehanded it, must not have had a very good grip on it because, and he didn't. He didn't have both of his first 2 fingers on the baseball properly, so he held on to it. Way to go, Rossi.
His second infield hit, and it brings the tying run to the plate. Will this be the time for Dan Uggla? He does have an RBI hit. It was a double in the 6th.
Guy I was thinking of for the Rockies, just to clarify that, Willen Rosario, 16 homers. Other than not having his first or last name correct, I was all over it.
But we had the position, so no balls and a strike.
Dan's got to be the same way as the guy's last inning. He's got to make this guy throw him a good pitch to hit. His control is not good enough to worry about falling behind if you take a borderline pitch. He throws hard, no doubt about that, but make him throw you something up and get wood on. That was too far up.
Might recall these 2 men were traded for each other. The Braves acquired Dan Uggla for the Marlins for Mike Dunn and Omar Infante. That was November 16th, 2010. One ball, 2 strikes. Popped up a mile high and into the seats, foul.
That was awfully close. He had to fight it off, but Dunn took a chance trying to fire one in on him.
Ryan Peterson's moved to left field for the Marlins. Gorkis Hernandez moves from left to center. Ross at first, nobody out, 4-2 game, 8th inning. Dan Uggla the hitter. This one popped up. Dan was reaching for that ball and is the first out. And now Paul Janisch will be called back for Tyler Pasternicki.
There's Brian McCann out on deck.
Tyler hit a home run here last night. He too can poke the ball through the right side, but as he showed yesterday, he can turn on a pitch. He launched that ball into the seats
and hit it off a lefty, Dan Jennings. fastball really jumped off his bat last night. Slider that was coming back to him. His second homer in the big leagues. Second one this year.
Dizzy Dean would have said that slider slud.
Slud right out of here.
Towards second. Reyes will turn the double play. And Dunn and the Marlins are out of 8th inning trouble. We head to the 9th. 4-2 Fish.
We go to the 9th. Braves still trailing by 2, and time for our Home Depot tools from the dugout. Tonight it's the help that Freddie Freeman gives his infielders. Great grab there, and then able to kick the bag and still get the out on Murphy after an errant throw by Chipper. And now on a pickoff throw, he digs one out of the dirt from Ben Sheets and puts the tag on Jose Reyes. So some good help over there from the man at first base.
Tyler Pasternicki remains in the game. He'll be the Braves shortstop for the 9th inning. And the bottom part of the attack due against Corey Guerin. It'll be Gorkys Hernandez. Hernandez came over from the Pirates in the deal that sent Gabby Sanchez to Pittsburgh. And he had some big league time this year. If memory serves, he got off to an awful start with the Pirates. Was 2 for his first 24 before they sent him back out to the minor leagues.
Hit .257 at Indianapolis.
Might be the kind of player that could catch the eye of Ozzie Guillen, especially with the big center field they have at Marlins Park. Little late, 0-2.
Scouting report on Gorkys was always that he could run, could steal bases, could play the outfield. Just a matter of how much would he hit.
And he waved and missed that pitch. 3 deliveries from Guerin. Retires Gorkys Hernandez. Don't forget, after our game and what we hope will be a comeback win in the bottom of the 9th, we'll have Braves Live presented by AT We'll hear from Fred Dallas. We'll get sound from the locker room, and we'll have all of tonight's highlights. Bonifacio, the batter.
Boy, good fastball there from Corey. Threw that right by him. 92. Corey Guerin's had a couple of opportunities with the Braves and has pitched well at times. And I don't think it was any secret that one of the things that Frank Wren and his staff were looking at near the end of the trading deadline was maybe some help in the bullpen. Didn't find anything to their liking.
How can you not like this?
And maybe that's a good thing. Good numbers at Gwinnett. And he's throwing strikes and throwing it close enough to the plate to get swings.
And you mentioned his fastball. I don't remember his fastball at 93 or 94. We've seen a couple of those this inning.
There's 3 strikeouts in an inning and 2/3.
And you look at Donnie Murphy now. Murphy 1 for 4. He's struck out twice. And he'll loop a line drive over second for a 2-out single.
It's 5 hits for him in 3 games.
Two hits for Reyes. Probably should have had a third, but missed call on a ball that kissed the chalk in the 3rd inning tonight. And Reyes looks at a strike. And Jose, a 19-game hitting streak. He'll try to match his career high tomorrow night. In the air to center. Jason Hayward on the run. Got a good jump. That ball was tailing back to him. He reached up with a big right arm and retired Jose Reyes. The Braves need 2 to tie, 3 to win as we head to the bottom of the 9th.
inning.
4-2 is your score. Let's enjoy tonight's Toyota play of the game.
And it was that great diving catch by Paul Janisch in the third inning, taking a hit away from Jose Reyes, who already has had a good night tonight. It would have been even better if that had dropped, but Paul Janisch made sure that didn't happen. Our Toyota play of the game.
So the Braves will have the 9, 1, and 2 spots scheduled. Corey Guerin will be taken down for a pinch hitter, and it looks like Michael Bourne will grab a bat and face Steve Cishek.
He's had a good year and hasn't had that many opportunities to save games until recently when they took Heath Bell out of that spot. But he's a tough guy for right-handers to hang in there on, as you can see. A 1.87 ERA and 41 strikeouts in 43 in the third innings. Pitched against the Braves a week ago. One inning, gave up 2 hits but no runs. and a nice luxury for the Braves to have coming off the bench tonight to lead off this inning.
Ton of left-handed bats. Swing and a miss. Interesting splits on Cishek. As you see Michael's numbers against him. Left-handed hitters hitting .303. Righties 165.
You get a good look at him left-handed, right-handed not so much.
Way upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. He did not swing. 2-1 your count.
Like Guerin, though, he can throw hard from that arm angle. 92, 93 miles an hour. Mostly sidearm sinking fastball and a slider.
Will take a walk. Now 3-2.
And Michael taking all the way, hoping to get a walk, knowing he's got another strike left.
Another 3-2 pitch. Leadoff walk in the 9th.
Love it. Great at bat, smart at bat. Patient at bat. And again, a luxury having Michael with a game off tonight to rest, having him on the bench to lead off that inning.
Brian McCann with 1 swing could tie the game. Look at what he's done over the last 3 weeks. Generous corner evens the count.
This is the sinker, and never had the plate. It didn't look like. Generous is right.
Ball and 2 strikes.
Double play in order, of course, for the Marlins here with this sinker baller, hoping that Brian hits the ball on the ground, and behind in the count, Brian's got to really not think about pulling the ball quite so much.
Over the outside corner, and Brian knew it. Big pitch by Cishek. There's the first out of the 9th inning.
Big backdoor slider. I mean, that was borderline too. No argument from McCann, but the pitch before, the strike 2 call, was the one that didn't look like it had the plate.
Martin Prado's 0 for 4 so far tonight.
Martin rarely swings at the first pitch, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him jump on the first one if he gets a good pitch to hit here.
Ground ball towards second. Reyes at second, fires to first in time, and the Marlins have snapped the Braves' 7-game winning streak. They win Game 3 of this series by a final score of 4-2. Cishek, a nice job of relief in the 9th inning. And that's your final. Back to Turner Field to wrap it up for you after this.